What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to 2022. 2021 was, like I said in a previous video, really challenging yet also really rewarding. Ironically enough, I talked in that video about going into court reporting and just waiting on my results. The day I uploaded that video, I got my results and I actually passed my test. So I am currently waiting for that court reporting license to come in. And it's exciting because this is the first steps towards a whole new part of life for me, and I'm excited and terrified at the same time, but it's going to be a good change, and I'm really excited to see where life takes me with this. Of course, this is going to open the door to the new build that will be coming this year, hopefully within the next 2 months. I'm hoping by the end of March I'll have this car in hand and ready to go. I'm excited for it. It's just a new start. But today's video isn't about new builds. I've done plenty of videos talking about this, even when the truck was down and I thought I was going to replace it. But you know, I'm going to do more stuff like that in the future once I get closer to that point. But today's video is going to be talking about looking back on 2021, but not in the way we did in the last video. This video is going to be about my top 10 videos from 2021, my favorite videos that I uploaded this year, and I'm going to talk about each of them in their own regards. So that's going to be exciting. I think I didn't upload a lot this year this past year due to, you know, the truck being gone for so long. I wasn't really keen on doing sit downs the entire time. That's why I haven't uploaded a lot this year in general. Is I'm okay with doing some sit downs. I'm not okay with every video for months being sit downs. And of course, I'm open to video ideas from you guys. If you guys have any ideas that aren't illegal, which includes street racing, I know a lot of people would love to see some street racing content on this channel, but unfortunately, I'm not really into it. I like watching it. I don't like participating. But if you guys have any other video ideas, please let me know in the description, in the comments below. And yeah, we're gonna get started with our top 10 videos of 2021. I'm gonna talk about each of them. This video might be a little long, but yeah, let's get started. Alright, so kicking off our top 10 with the Maverick reveal. So this is going to be the only sit-down video you guys find on this list, and probably it's one of the better ones I actually did. So this video was all about the new Ford Maverick, which I'm finally starting to see on the street, you know, at dealerships and stuff. I haven't actually seen anyone driving it. But this truck is meant to be kind of a compact city truck for those who live in somewhere like Atlanta, for example, where I'm from, in the general area at least, and, you know, need something that's small but also want a truck. And it's about the same size as the Sport Track. I think give or take an inch in some parts. The Maverick and the Sport Track are nearly identical in size. Of course, obviously the Maverick does a lot of things the Sport Track does better. In terms of interior room, one thing I've learned over the time I've had mine is when you have a bunch of friends that are over 6 foot and you yourself are nearing 6 foot, it's rather difficult to fit all of those people into that thing. For one thing, the engine's just too sluggish compared to the weight of the vehicle itself, but trying to stuff in a bunch of people into it will bog the thing down pretty bad. The Maverick, I assume, will probably suffer from similar stuff, as it only makes marginally more horsepower, but having a lot lighter of a weight and having more leg room for those rear passengers, if you have anyone over 6 foot, it will be a lot more comfortable of a truck. And I think that's one thing that the Maverick does really well, is just be comfortable. So that is our first entry into the top 10. Let's move on to our next one. So next up at number 9 is the family car check. So this video was intended to be kind of a checkup on all the cars. I'm going to do this again at some point this year, but this was also a reveal video in a way, because we actually revealed my sister's car. We added our 5th and final car to the fleet here at the house. My sister's little Chevy Cruze. Ironic enough, in the video I referred to it as a non-turbo, but after doing an oil change, we discovered it actually does have a tiny turbo strapped to it. So it is actually the 1.4T. Either the 1.4 or 1.5T. I don't remember which displacement it is. But nonetheless, we do happen to have a turbo car at the house now. It just happens to be the Cruze out of all things. But the car has held up really well. We haven't had any issues out of this thing. I mean, we did an oil change, and my sister drives it every day, and, you know, gets extremely good gas mileage. I mean, the car's great overall. We haven't had any issues with it yet. Neither any of the other Chevys we've had. A lot of people will complain about, oh, Chevy sucks, but our Chevys have been considerably more reliable. I mean, the Equinox has had one major failure in the entire time we've had it, and it was a solenoid, like something very minor. But, you know, it's been quite an interesting run with those two cars, but the Cruze has been really great so far, and I'm really impressed with it. So that is our number 9 entry. Let's move on to our number 8. Number 8 was the Z1 NorTM Meet that was in Carrollton, Georgia, earlier this year. This was during the time frame that actually had the GMC. A lot of people might remember that white Sierra that I drove very briefly, did a video on it, cleaned it up really nice. I mean, I put in some work on that truck to clean it up before I gave it back. I took as good care of it as I could. I loved that thing. It was so fun, despite the fact I didn't know how much gas was in it at any given time. I never knew how fast I was going. I never knew how fast the engine was turning. So, I mean, the truck did well, and I had a good time with it. And I took it to this car meet, and it was a great little experience with it. And a lot of people, were there. Got to meet up with Kaysen and see, everybody. Unfortunately, I didn't make it out that night, but for those who were keen-eyed, may have actually seen my girlfriend for the first time, who would later on make a full video debut with IA, which we'll talk about later in this video, of course. But it was all in all a fun time. Got to see a bunch of cool cars. It was the first time my girlfriend had ever been to a car meet, so it was a great time nonetheless. But anyway, that is our entry for that. Let's move on to our next entry. Next up is probably the newest video in this entry, probably the most obscure, and I'm actually surprised I ranked it this high. But just in context of the other videos, this video is probably one of my better edited ones, and that is fixing this RC Raptor. I bought this truck about like 2 months ago, little RC 1/10 scale Traxxas Raptor pickup thing. And I've driven it a handful of times. I've driven it quite a lot this weekend, really. And within the first 10 minutes of driving it, I accidentally turned in front of Hayden as he did a full throttle pull in his. And his is a metal bash bar in the front, and he slammed into it really hard. And it wound up snapping the knuckle. So my whole video was just trying to fix it, driving around for about 20 seconds, the video ending. But the video is infamous for me because it took 2 runs to actually get this video, actually no, 3. Because the video, Premiere crashed, so I had to re-edit the entire video, and then I rendered it out, and then it rendered a corrupt file, so then I had to re-render the whole thing, which thankfully my computer, being pretty stout, didn't take terribly long. And then it came out good the second time, or the third time, and then I finally got it up. The second time rendering, third time, you know what I mean. But it was such a debacle to get that video made. And I think the original edit was better. Obviously having to start from scratch, didn't know exactly what all was transferred over, but the video was fun. I had a good time with it. And yes, that is our next entry. Let's move on to the next entry. Alright, so moving into our next entry here, the G37 review. This video was one of the earlier videos in the year. It was one of the few non-4 track videos during that time, because I talked about the freaking fire like crazy at the beginning of the year. The G37 review had a really solid cinematic, in my opinion. It was one of my favorite videos I edited this year. The cinematics are honestly, I'm not great at them, but I really enjoy making them, so it's just time to practice. I mean, I've done a couple of cinematics this year, as you guys have seen. This was the first car review of the year. There were 3, I believe. We had the G37, the Sierra when we did that, and then we had the Volvo. So all 3 of those were really solid videos. But the G37 review clocks in here. It was just a really solid video, in my opinion. It's always good to hang out with Kaysen. Hopefully we'll get to do some more stuff with him this upcoming year, and we'll have a lot of fun. So yeah, that's our entry for here, is the G37 review. Let's move on to the next video. Alright, we're moving into the top 5, and here we are with the drive of the Veloster N. This is another new video, which unfortunately got critically panned in terms of videos that I've made. It has a lot of dislikes, surprisingly. I mean, it's not surprising. I know exactly why it is, and it's because my camera angle got goofed. And despite the camera angle goof, I think that my emotions with the video, my experience was still able to be seen. I definitely wish that I had noticed the camera had been goofed up earlier. You guys might notice at the very beginning of the video, it's flawless, it's perfectly fine. And apparently at some point, I'm guessing when I was either backing out of my driveway or turning out of my neighborhood, as I turned this way to look, obviously, I must have bumped the camera against the roof, which is why I've actually moved away from using head straps for POV videos from that video on, and I'm moving to my chest mount, so that will hopefully alleviate that issue, because I'm sick and tired of having so many POV videos ruined by that. But the N-Drive was great. It's one of my favorite cars I've ever driven. But yeah, let's move on to our next video, which will be number 4. Went crazy with trying to get every detail of the install, because unfortunately Forbidden USA did not include instructions with this. They kind of just were like, okay, go for it. And so I wanted the video to serve as an instructional video because I didn't really see any other instructional videos. My rule's always been, and I've gotten a lot of flack for this, is that I don't do instructional videos unless there's already not one. A lot of the stuff I did with the Sport Track, I did not do instructional because there was already instruction videos, and I want to give those people, a chance to get more views, even if it's, a little bit more inconveniencing to, push for those videos. I need to do a better job of voicing those. But anyway, this video was really fun. It was, crazy cool looking setup. I've Unfortunately, the car broke down after that video was filmed, and we haven't gotten to do anything with the S2000. But hopefully, me and Hayden can, either Hayden or me and Hayden, or me and Michael and Hayden, you know, whoever, can be able to fix it back up. It just had the clutch issue. Very minor clutch issue, and should be back on the road here soon. But anyway, that is our number 4 entry. Let's move into the top 3. Number 3 is another heartwarming video, and that is Michael getting his new Scat Pack. Now, unfortunately, it's already gone. He's already traded this in. He's got a new truck, which we'll hopefully talk about in a future video. But he traded the Charger in, and that's sad. But, you know, he had this car, and he was really excited with the delivery process. He had it for quite a little while. And he really enjoyed it at first. I think he enjoyed it all the way through. But, you know, he really enjoyed the car, and this video was kind of just showing it off for the first time. It's the second time I go owned a Scat Pack, and I think, in my opinion, this one was way better than his first one. I loved his first one. Don't get me wrong, but this one was way better in every way compared to the old one. Of course, his new truck I've really enjoyed. I have not stopped bragging about that truck because it's like, I really like it. We'll show it off in a future video. Only like a select few know what this truck actually is. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a future video. I'll let Michael do most of it because that is, of course, his car. I'm not going to steal the spotlight from him on that one. But the video was really cool. We got to take a ride in this thing after he had just gotten it. It was a really fun car. But anyway, let's move on to number 2. Alright, our runner-up for our top 10 videos of this year is the Volvo S60R review. Now, this video nearly took number 1. Simply alone that I feel like out of all the cinematics I've done in the last 2 years, this is one of the best edited ones, if not my favorite, in terms of the lighting, the music, all that stuff. Sure, other cinematics I've done, such as the G37 and the Speed 3 reviews, had a lot more special effects, a lot more energy, but I liked how this one turned out with the somber lighting, with the fresh rain, and the music choice, and just the more calm energy this cinematic produced. And it's by far one of my favorite reviews I've done. It's the first of a new style I'm going with my car reviews, talking with the owner about their builds and just then going for a ride in it. It's really fun stuff. I really enjoyed that video. It was so close to being number 1, but our number 1 video had just so much extra stuff going on top of edits and all that stuff. It was great. So let's get into that. And finally, our number 1 video for 2021, in my personal opinion, not in terms of views, is Import Alliance 2021. This was my favorite video of the year by far. So much stuff was going on in that video, so much drifting and action and cinematics. I mean, this was probably my best cinematic of the year. And by far, out of all the Import Alliance videos, this is the one that I think I've loved the most. I went for kind of a middle ground style between my previous 2 Import Alliance videos. 2018 was literally one giant 30-minute cinematic. Which was really just a bunch of slow-mo footage of me walking by cars. 2019 was more of a traditional vlog. I didn't film very many cinematics, if at all. I haven't gone to watch back that video. And this year I wanted it to be, you know, full bore, you know, the best kind of content I can produce. And I think utilizing the GoPro and utilizing all the equipment I had on hand at the time really allowed that video to become as great as it did. And out of all the videos I filmed this year, is by far my favorite. Sure, the line was as bad as ever. Import Alliance really needs to work on their lines because, gosh, it sucks waiting 4 hours to get in, especially waiting almost 2 hours, if not a little over 2 hours after the gates were supposed to open to even start moving towards getting into the track. They did introduce a new ticket class this year. It's like $100, but it's, you know, you skip the line completely. I mean, you literally get on track at 7:30 and you watch everyone else come in, which I think would be great for content. So I may pull the trigger on that once ticket sales open for IA this year for 2022. But all in all, this video was great. I really enjoyed it. It was my favorite video of the year. It's also the video my girlfriend technically made her full video debut. I've kind of tried to keep her out of the spotlight as much as I can because I value her privacy. But she was wanting to be in on this one, so of course we let her have it go in on this video. So yeah, that was a really great video though. It was lots of fun. Hopefully this year we'll have a bigger turnout and have more friends with us. I'm hoping that I can get a cruise out with everybody. Hopefully I can convince Michael to go this year. Michael has always been very weird about going to IA, so hopefully we can get him to go this year. Unfortunately, Hayden probably won't be going because he'll probably be moved by then. But I'm hoping we'll be able to get quite the squad out for Import Alliance this year. But anyway, that wraps up our top 10 videos this year. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you guys are excited with content coming in 2022. It's going to be great. I'm really excited for it. New build, new house, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get started this year with a bang, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day, guys.